For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone, talking some Wildcat soccer here with senior defender Katie Stivers and head coach Casey Wilson. Katie, let's start with you. Big weekend coming up. You've got Northwestern State on Friday, then you have Stephen F. and what could be a battle of first place. But before that, let's go back and talk about the draw against Central Arkansas last Friday night. 2-2. Twice you guys fought back from a goal down. Take me through that game and how it progressed.
Okay. We seem to be a team that comes back pretty well after like a 1-0 loss or something. And so I'm pretty sure whenever we first got scored on, we were really mad, and we weren't going to let them beat us. And so I think our heart and our fight to win and our competitive drive propelled us to be able to make that equalizer. And then again, they scored on us again, but we weren't going to let that happen again. So
you scored like in less than 5 minutes after that second goal, didn't you?
It was pretty close. But I was just really impressed with the heart of the team to be able to at least equalize. Yeah.
But I talked about this with your teammates a little bit, but the non-conference schedule, it was really important, wasn't it, getting you ready for conference play?
Oh yeah, I think tough teams in preseason definitely prepare us more for a good conference with solid teams. I would rather play hard teams and maybe not come out with the result that we would hope for, rather than playing teams that I guess are beatable, because it prepares us more, toughens our skin up, and drives us into season.
Let me ask you about, as a defender, early in the season, the team wasn't scoring a lot of goals. First couple, 3 games of the season, you're struggling to find your offense, as anyone would when you lose a player like Andrea Carpenter. Now the goals are beginning to come a little bit more frequently. Mm-hmm. How much does the improvement on offense change the way you play defense or affect how your team plays defense?
I think that the more that we score and the more that we trust our offense to be able to keep the ball and in turn not play so defensively. So if we trust them to keep the ball in the attacking third of the field, then we're going to be more likely to step and push and be more attacking minded rather than waiting for the ball to come back to defend. So I think that that's built trust within the team as a whole.
What do you remember about the game against Stephen F. last year?
I just remember being frustrated because I knew that we could beat them. I'm not very good at remembering like specific instances, but I do remember the feeling that I had after that game, that I was just like, we're not letting this happen again. Definitely.
All right, well, let's talk to your coach about these games coming up. Casey, Northwestern State toward the bottom of the standings in the Southland. Then you get 2 days later the team at the very top. You're 1 game behind them. It's a battle for first place if you take care of business on Friday. You've been at this a while now, your 8th year. Is there any concern with a somewhat young team that maybe they're peeking ahead to Stephen F.?
No. I mean, Northwest is a good team. I've seen some film on them this week, and I've seen them, even games that they've lost, they've had a lot of good chances. So, I mean, I definitely think that they're a good team. I without a doubt that we're not looking ahead. I mean, we've got to take care of, our game on Friday, and then we'll move on after that. But like I said, Northwest is definitely up in the forefront of our minds right now.
And I guess not just in that situation, in every situation, you lean on your seniors, don't you, like Katie?
Yeah, Katie's, Sarah and some of the other ones that have been here for 4 years, they've done a lot of good things, and and the experience does help when it comes to to winning games, or just kind of mentoring the other players. So they do a great job with our team this year.
So Northwestern State on noon Friday, but then you do get Stephen F. 4-0 in the conference. Why are they so good?
They run a pretty sophisticated offense where they change their look, going, on their attack and on their defense. They're very, like I said, a very well-coached team. And then they have some good athletes in the way that they use some of their athletes, and they have a center back that's a very good, piece of their puzzle on being the hammer on corner kicks. So, and she, like I said, she's a defender, but she scored a lot of goals last year, and she's an all-conference player. But I mean, like I said, they have some pretty, a decent amount of talent, and the way that they run their offense is pretty neat.
How much do you and your coaching staff think about the standings and talk about it, and how much do you want your team thinking about it?
The standings don't mean anything really, because if you look at everybody's past history of what they've done this year, it's kind of back and forth. So I mean, like you said, I was looking at the film between Northwest and Lamar, and I saw during that game Northwest was putting the press on them quite a bit, and they lost that game 4-1. So it's just in this game you can't ever really count your chickens before they're hatched, because I mean, I expect Northwest to be a good team, and it was a 1-0 game last year. It was a tight game. We scored on a direct kick. So I mean, you never know what could happen, but it just comes down to who's ready to play and who's going to get the results.
But at the end of the season, I mean, obviously you want to finish at the top of the standings. Is that a goal for the team? Is that a stated goal?
Of course it is, but the thing is, you can't ever look ahead. I mean, in this deal, if you look ahead, then you might get undercut. So So that's the thing is, like I said, one game at a time is usually the only way we can approach any of our games.
And this is a big week for you, because you've got a lot of future players coming in to watch some of these games, don't you?
Yeah, we do have quite a few official visits and unofficial visits this weekend. So we'll have a lot of fans at the game, looking for, ahead of what our team's going to be like. So that'll be interesting.
Be a lot of fun, and be a big homecoming crowd out there. So Friday at noon versus Northwestern State, and then that showdown Sunday against Stephen F. Austin. For Katie Stivers and for Coach Casey Wilson, I'm Grant Boone for ACUSports.com.